guys, let's talk about It Chapter 2, which I was really anticipating because I love the 2017 It for Chapter 1, which I just rewatched yesterday, and I was so excited for this one because of all the casting, because of bringing all the director, everybody involved, the director, producers, everybody involved came back to do this second part, so it wasn't like we had somebody else doing anything different. So I was really hyped up because of all that, and with again the casting, I was so excited. And coming out of this movie, man, I think I love it as much as the other one, as much as the part one of this iteration from 2017, because of the fact that this movie, the way that the movie, I think, has a structure in a way where I was super interested, even though it was a 2 hours and 50-minute movie. It really worked for me, even though it was almost 3 hours long. I really felt like I never got bored. I never felt like it dragged. Because they did such a fantastic job of having these newcomers being the characters we watched in the other movie 27 years later, because like in the book and the movies, 27 years later, it comes back every 27 years, so they've got to try to stop him this time. And let's talk about the casting. My God, did they have fantastic casting in this movie with these newcomers. And by newcomers, I mean actors that a lot of them are big, but newcomers into this franchise, or of these films. So, really love Jessica Chastain as Beverly. I thought she was a great addition to these films, and I love the fact that I and a lot of people thought that she should be the one that would be Sophia Lillis's version as an adult, and I love that they brought her into this movie because she really brings a lot, because Jessica Chastain is one of those actresses that I do really love, and she really brings a lot to this movie, and you really do feel the struggle with her and how coming back brings back some of these fears that she had as a kid with her abusive father. And then I really love how Bill is portrayed too by James McAvoy. James McAvoy is awesome in anything, and in this one he's great as well. He really looks the part, and I gotta say, with all the people replacing the kids look so much like it, and even in the marketing they've got pictures of the old actors and the new actors together on the same picture, so it's like you could tell how much they wanted to pay attention to make these characters look the same as they did 27 years prior. So that's really cool, and I really commend them for that. And James McAvoy is great, and Bill Hader as Richie is really awesome. He actually goes through a lot more than I expected in the movie, and when you watch the movie you'll see, because it gives Richie more of a humanizing thing as opposed to being just the funny guy. Like in the other movie, they had the thing on how it personifies fear, and in this one they do the same thing with Richie, but it's something that you didn't get in the first movie, so I really liked where they went with him. And I really liked how they went with everybody. And the guy who played Ben, I thought, especially him, he looks just like the kid, version of him whenever he's a kid, but now he's a stud. He's not a skinny, he's a skinny guy, and he's not a fat kid, but they look the same, and all these people do. So did Jessica Chastain. She looks just like Sophia Lillis. If you put their faces side by side, it's the same as Ben. They look nearly identical, and it's kind of scary that they were that good. Or maybe they used some CGI that we didn't know about to touch up their face movements to make them look like their younger versions, but I don't know. But they look so much like their counterparts, both versions of each of these characters, and it's really scary just how close they look. And Bill Hader looks a lot like Phil Wolfhard, just older version. It's just so funny seeing all these characters. And the guy who played Stanley looks just like Stanley. And they even make the joke at the beginning of the movie that you're going to look like what you do now, but just taller. I thought that was really funny. And Mike looks the same. They all look so very incredibly similar to their kid counterparts that it is very cool just how they made it that close. And then we've got, it's hard because we've got the three main characters. There are 6 or 7 of the Losers Club, but it's the other iteration and also the kids version, in which it kind of just focuses on 2 or 3 people. Like, the ones that I remember the most are Bill, Ben, and Beverly. The other characters are just kind of there. Like, they're very important to the movie, but in terms of like the 3 main characters, Bill, Ben, and Beverly, and Richie, I felt like those 4 characters are the ones that get the most spotlight. Even though, like, Eddie is hilarious and Mike's good, but he's like the other movie where he's just not in it as much. He's like the one who knows about this history and is trying to figure out how to stop it, but like there's not much else to him. And the other characters are in it too, but they're not as prevalent. So I'd argue that 4 characters to me are the ones that are there the most. But still, it doesn't matter, because this is still a great movie that, despite not giving everybody ample screen time, it was enough to warrant all of them. It just felt like there was some that got more than others. But I really did enjoy that fact, though, and I really loved that this movie, really, since it's so accurate, bringing back everybody from the first movie involved to make this a sequel connected to that one, it feels so legit connected in a way where I want to watch both of these movies back to back, even though they'd be like 6 hours long. But still, I would love to see that, because both of these movies have great characters and great thrills. And Pennywise, again, is awesome like he was in the last movie. He does a lot of creepy ass shit in this movie too, and horrible shit. Like, there are moments in this movie where I didn't expect them to go that route with what Pennywise does, and I'm just surprised, and I'm glad, even though he's done stuff like that in the other movie. And this is being very vague because I'm not spoiling it, but there's things in the movie that I was surprised that he did. But I really did appreciate that. And I really just appreciated this movie overall. It was just a very fun, very charming, and very entertaining movie with great new performances by these new versions of their characters that were kids. Really loved all the people brought in. Loved how they were so close to their other counterparts that it just worked so well. Really loved the humor, the thrills, the gore. This is just incredibly entertaining and one of my favorite movies of the year, as was the other one. And I'm glad that I feel the same way about this one like I did the first part, because usually you might not feel the same way, but I love this one. I thought this was fantastic. 10 times better than the miniseries, which I thought was just okay. Again, like I felt with the first chapter 1 of It 2017, it's 10 times better. Both of these are 10 times better than the 1990s miniseries, which is just okay. It's not like terrible, but it's just okay. But man, this movie just is really awesome, really entertaining. Loved everything about It Chapter 2. So what did you guys think of It Chapter 2? Tell me down below. I want to have a conversation with you guys. And thank you guys so much for watching.